Hi guys, so today I just want to talk about learning not to give a fuck within reason, obviously. I don't mean just throw things on the floor, be rude to people. I don't mean that. I mean just learning not to care what people think and seeing how that will impact your life. Seeing how, if you're a professional performer, seeing how your performances will be enhanced, your creative flow, the creative process. Everything will just be enhanced when you stop caring so much. And that goes with any aspect of your life. If you're at work in any field and you're so worried about what people are thinking, you're not only using up an extremely huge amount of energy, but you're also, the stress and the nerves that you're experiencing will actually inhibit the creative flow. It will stop you accessing your creativity, stop you coming up with smart, intelligent responses, smart, intelligent solutions to any business problems that might present. And then, later on you might think, oh, that would have been a great idea. But at the time, I was almost in a panic mode. I couldn't access it. I couldn't think of it because I was just kind of panicked. Maybe you were in a meeting, maybe you were standing up in front of a group of people, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Because when you're so wrapped up in what people will think, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's your superiors, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family, when you're so caught up in that world, and most of it's in your head because everyone has their own insecurities, everyone has their own things that they're worried about, and people don't even realize that, because a lot of the time they're just so focused on themselves. And that goes for you. But if you are so caught up in worrying about what's going on around you, what other people are thinking, how people are perceiving you, you are not allowing yourself to grow. You are not allowing yourself to access those higher energies, the creative reaction, the creative thought process, the creative flow, the energy inside you. And by stopping that, you're stunted. You're sort of you're exhausted by the end of the day. You're not able to really grow, and you're not able to really be happy, because you can't be fully happy and fully relaxed if you're also extremely self-conscious and extremely worried about how people are looking at you. And I used to be quite shy, and I still have my moments, but as a performer, obviously, I have to get up in front of thousands of people every day and perform and show my vulnerability, open myself to maybe making a mistake, or and it was the same with public speaking, and these are all learned skills, by the way. All of them are learned. I used to get really bad stage fright. I still get nervous before I go on stage. If I'm doing something with a high skill level or something that's a bit dangerous, I'll be nervous. Or something that I haven't done for a long time, if I had to go on stage and sing now, I would be quite nervous. But when I learned to just not care and just really just channel my, just to get in a zone and just channel that creative flow. When I get into that headspace, it's like nothing else matters. And again, it's not always easy to get into that zone, but it's the most incredible feeling. And again, this is a skill that you can train. And when you learn how to access that, it's sort of like an intense presence. There's no thought except for 100% focus on what you're doing, and you're feeling it. You're not forcing it. And then it will happen, and you're focused on every little thing. So for example, if I'm performing an aerial act, I'm thinking about what my face is doing, what the story that I'm telling with my body is, and my face, the performance, because I can't show what might be really going on, or if it's a hard act but it's supposed to be an inspirational performance with smiles, I can't allow that to show on my face that I'm feeling like tired or sore or whatever. But even if I'm feeling happy, if it's a sad performance, I have to really channel the sad music and express the intention behind the act. and I'm thinking about every single body part. At the same time, I'm thinking about, what are my knees doing? Are they straight? Now, is my foot bent or flexed? Is it doing both? Am I moving through this movement? Make sure I've done the wrap or whatever it is correctly. There's a lot of thoughts that are going on, but at the same time, I'm really in the moment and I'm feeling it. I'm connected to it. There's no time to think, oh my God, everyone's watching me. Oh my God, what if I make a mistake? And look, these thoughts can pop into your head, but you really need to learn how to just get rid of them. And that, again, over time, that becomes a lot easier. It's a muscle that you can develop, that you can strengthen. And it's the same with public speaking. I used to be very nervous when I did debating at school, and I was always nervous, but then I just was like, okay, who cares? I'm just going to just do my best. I'm just going to go for it. And even if you're nervous, even if you're choking up a little bit or the words don't come out, the only way you'll ever improve is just to keep doing it, fail. Even if you're at an audition and you're so worried about making a mistake, and I've messed up auditions, dance auditions before, most people have, but then eventually you learn not to. You learn to just pick up the choreography quickly because you're not panicking. You're just you might be nervous, but you've channeled the nerves to just absorb the information quickly, which again, audition technique it's 100% learned skill. And when you learn how to access that zone to get into that zone, you can just pick up the choreography and then do it. Whether it's you on your own in front of everyone watching, all your friends watching, all your competitors watching, the panel of judges sitting there watching, you learn to just almost enjoy it. And that's a really important skill to have, because if you're in the workplace and you go into a meeting, and maybe it's a really important meeting, and because you're out of practice, because you're so worried about how you're going to do, you might choke. But if you can just learn to not care, like obviously you're going to care to the extent that you're going to prepare what you need to prepare. Know your information. Don't go in unprepared. And that's the same if you've got an audition and you're doing an act for it. You need to make sure you've run the act enough times and that you're ready. I know I have done last minute ones, but I don't recommend that if you're starting out. Some auditions you learn it on the spot, if it's a dance audition especially, so you don't have to prepare, but the preparation is practicing, doing dance classes and other auditions that you might not care about as much. So there is a preparation to some extent, a lot of preparation actually, which is different. But if you're going into a business meeting or a university presentation, oral exam, I've had to do a lot of those, where you have to stand up, and whether it's a law exam, you have to present your case, or if it's a language exam, you have to be able to speak to the examiner in that language. And so you've done the preparation, you've done whatever you need to do, then you need to just stop the night before, think, okay, I've done what I need to prepare. I'm just going to do my best. Try and take the pressure off yourself. Don't think, I have to nail this, because then if you put too much pressure on yourself, it's much easier to make a mistake. If you just think, okay, I've done everything I can possibly do, now I'm going to stop, I'm going to switch off for a few hours before I go to sleep, don't stay up all night preparing, I've done that, doesn't work. It's better just, okay, that's it. I've done my best, and now I'll just try and relax, go for a walk, clear your head, try and get a good night's sleep, try and get at least 8 hours, make sure you're hydrated through the day, do some exercise, and then the next day, if you can, make sure you take some time to do a bit of some sort of exercise, whether it's a stretch or a jog, or go to the gym, do something to clear your head. Get the endorphins running, have a shower, feel fresh, and then just go in there and do your best and not care. When I say not care, I mean don't worry. I mean, again, that's a hard feeling to get rid of, but you feel the nerves. Like, okay, I'm really nervous, but that's all right. I'm going to just allow the nerves to just be there while I just focus on what I've prepared, and I'm just going to do my best. At the end of the day, we all die. Life is short. At the end of the day, most people have forgotten something you said that you're hung up on an hour later or a week later or anything. People forget. People are so caught up in their own journey that people forget even if it's really embarrassing for a day, even if people are teasing you for a week. Eventually, people forget, people leave, people move on, and you got to remember that. So life is a journey that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to humiliate yourself, you know. You've just got to let it go, and the only way you can grow is to learn to embrace that and go, oh, well, I tried. Oh, well, I just had a costume malfunction on stage. You know, I've done a show where the wig went flying off in the middle of the act, and I had a nude skull cap on underneath, and then I had to sort of strut and pick up the wig and strut off stage after. This is when I was performing at Pasha. And then, yeah, even on the cruise ship, I had one incident where we had like these ponytail extensions, and that went flying off. And you just laugh about these things. And even at La Pearl, you know, we've had shoes fly off, all sorts of things. My hat fell off once, and it's just, you just laugh. You know, in the beginning, I used to get so upset. Like, this is years ago, if I was doing, for example, a silks performance and the silks got a little bit stuck on the costume or in the sweat, and you kind of panic a little bit, and you kind of kick it off, or you get not tangled, but a little bit wrapped up. And that can happen. And then it's so easy to just beat yourself up over it for like a week. But at the end of the day, most people didn't even notice that it happened, or if they did, they forgot, or like, oh, well, the tissue got a bit stuck on her. But she was fine. She kept going. At the end of the day, I was never injured or hurt, you know? So, oh, well. And then you learn to just laugh these things off as you get more experience, as you practice more, as you embrace human failure or perceived failure as an essential part of growth. Once you can really see that you actually have to almost hit rock bottom. When I say it like that, because you don't, actually have to, and you might actually hit rock bottom, but I mean, making a mistake or humiliating yourself in front of your friends is not really rock bottom, but there's a liberation that comes along with that. There's a freedom. You're like, I just humiliated myself. This is so embarrassing. There's no way to go but up from here. So you just focus on yourself. You focus on your internal growth, your spiritual growth, read more, learn more, expand your vocabulary in different fields. If you don't know anything about art, start learning about art. If you don't know any other language, start learning a language. If you're completely out of shape, start training. Go to the gym. You will grow as a person. You'll become healthier mentally and physically. And without one, you don't have the other. You can be ripped at the gym, working out every day, 6 days a week, and be absolutely miserable or stressed all the time inside. Then your mental health will deteriorate your physical health. So you really need to have both. And it is a tough balance. And we do tend, especially in this day and age, social media, and we're always bombarded with this perfect image. But you really, at the end of the day, need to just accept that we're all learning. We're all growing. You can't learn and you can't grow without failing along the way, making a mistake along the way, without messing up. That's part of it. And as soon as you can embrace that, stop being so worried, you can really just channel this inner feeling that you get, this inner creativity. It will just come out. You'll be able to improvise, whether it's talking, whether it's performing, it will just happen. Some people can access this more naturally than others. But either way, this is something you can learn. I've learned it along the way. I'm still learning it. There are days where I just feel really introverted and I'm feeling like I don't want to talk to anybody. And there are some days, and I go, okay, I'm going to take an hour or two for myself. I'm going to train. Why am I feeling like this? Am I sad? Am I really sleep deprived? So I look at all these factors. Have I been eating badly? Or did I get a really terrible sleep last night? That usually makes me not want to talk to anyone. Have I had enough sunlight? Have I been really stressed? Am I really run down? Am I getting sick? So I just allow myself to feel these emotions. I go, okay, well, what can we do about it? I'm going to make sure I eat a bit healthier today, try and get to bed earlier tonight. Okay, so I don't feel good. I'm going to take an extra hour to meditate or do my morning training, and that I combine meditation with like this handstand yoga stretching flow that I created. And I just get in a zone, and that usually, sometimes it can take a full hour just to clear my head, or just to get rid of this feeling like I don't want to talk to anyone. Once I get rid of that, I'm like a different person. I feel relaxed. I've unblocked whatever was bothering me. Maybe it was a fight or something that you had with a family member or whatever, for example. But I can, once you learn how to get rid of that or just identify that that's what's making you feel that way. So just emotional intelligence. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I sad? Sometimes I don't even know. I'm just sad. Maybe it's hormonal. I'm like, why am I feeling sad? And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm worried about this person, or, or I'm just feeling like I'm just working too much and I'm not having much of a social life. So, okay, so that's the reason. So I can do something to fix that, and I'm going to do that when I have a day off, or I'm going to call home, or whatever the thing that might be causing this feeling is identified. Once you can identify what that is, you can then take the necessary steps to address it. But if you just try to deny it and you try and drink, or you try and just distract yourself with TV, eating junk food, which are things I used to do. I used to just be like, I just want to binge and watch Netflix. But I never feel better after that. I never actually feel like it just masks the problem, and then it creates further problems. I'm not saying don't ever relax and watch Netflix and have popcorn or whatever, but don't use that to mask how you're feeling. Don't use that to stop your growth. And so in order to enable and facilitate the personal growth, the spiritual growth, the growth in your career, the growth in your training, the growth in just your happiness, you need to first identify what's upsetting you, learn how to accept it, get into that clear head space, learn how to clear the head. Even if those feelings are there, you can still get into a really present moment. If you you can train that. Again, it's a skill that you need to train. Once you do that, you can face the day, and then things don't seem so bad later, or the day might just, you never know what the day might bring. But if you allow yourself to sort of be stuck in that headspace, you don't take the hour or whatever, how much time it takes in the morning to get rid of that before you go into the workplace. Your whole day can just be a disaster. You have those days where you stubbed your toe, then you broke something, then your car had a flat tire, then you were late, then you got in trouble at work, then someone got upset at you, then you had a fight with you. It's a ricochet effect because you're still carrying around that energy. And I do believe in energy, because I notice there are some days where I'm like, absolutely nothing is working today. And those days I go, okay, I'm having a day, whether it's because I didn't sleep or whatever, but now there's a whole ricochet effect of things that have happened, and I just want to cry, or I just want to leave. But these are the things I'm going to do. If you can, take a break and just try and meditate, clear your head, even if it's just 10 minutes. Think, okay, if I'm going to go train, I'm not going to train anything too risky. I'm just going to do something that's going to make me feel good. Maybe it's a gentle stretch, or maybe it's weights rather than something heavily skill-based, or maybe it's more conditioning on an apparatus. That will also help me clear my head even more. And it will also reduce the risk of injury. Don't go trying to do a new dangerous trick if you're in a terrible headspace. It's not a good time to go for it, unless you can really actually clear that headspace, get into a zone, and then it just feels right in the moment. But I wouldn't recommend trying it on those days, especially if you're really tired or sleep deprived. But obviously there are things that sometimes you have a show or whatever it is that you have a meeting or a presentation, and it has to happen on that day and you don't feel good. Again, take the time, even if it's 10 minutes, try and meditate with deep breathing and just try and clear your head. Just try and get in the zone in the moment and let everything go. Just think, oh, well, I'm just going to let it go. I'm just not going to care, and I'm just going to do my best. Now I'm in a calmer state, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do what I can. And again, these are all part of life's learning curves. And I'm a big believer of learning everything. I love learning. I love learning about myself. I'm always trying to make myself a better person, whether that's taking the time to listen to other people's problems more instead of just always worrying about my own. Whether it means not talking about my own problems because it doesn't actually make me feel better. But what actually makes me feel better is being receptive to other people and listening to their problems and making them feel better when they're down. That actually makes me feel really good. And I notice that the more I'm just available to help other people in different ways, the more I feel spiritually fulfilled, the more I feel like I've just achieved something. As well as all the other things I like to achieve. You know, I love to tick off boxes and learn this, get this degree, or learn a new skill. There's no end to it. You know, I just love learning, but I also love helping. And I think everybody's like that, and we just get disconnected from that in our day-to-day life. We're so focused on this and, you know, working and whatever goals you have and making money or achieving your dreams, things like that. But if you can start to find if you can remember how much joy helping someone, making someone's day, and it doesn't have to be a full day, it could be you give somebody 10 minutes and you've completely changed their day. You know, it might be that you gave a homeless person enough money for food or something, and you feel better. You know, you feel like you've made a bit of a difference, or you've got a friend that's upset, and instead of being like, oh, I don't want to deal with this today, you actually sit down and you're like, well, maybe if you tried this, or just be there for them, knowing that you've made them feel less alone will give you this intense sense of purpose, this intense sense of accomplishment that you don't often find in other areas, especially if you're just too busy trying to cram in as much as you can in a day, which I have the habit of doing too. And I'm really trying now to take a bit of a step back and go, okay, I will try and get this done, but then I'm also going to take the time to make somebody else's day better. Take the time to help someone. You know, maybe a friend of mine's struggling with sleep, and I'm going to help them. You know, I'm going to tell them what they can do, maybe do a bit of research on what they can do, and, you know, share my knowledge with them, write it down even for them, and make them feel better, you know, because we're so caught up in ourselves that sometimes we think, oh my God, that person was so rude to me today. Why? They might not even realize that they were being rude to you. They might have just been having a terrible day, you know, they might have just been dumped. They might have been really upset or just trying not to cry, and they're just trying to avoid eye contact, or they just don't want to talk right now because they feel like they might cry, or they just need to be alone. And once you can identify that, okay, I don't think they're actually being rude to me. It's nothing I did or said. They're not being mean. They're just, maybe they're going through something. So I'm just going to give them space, or if they need me, I'm here for them, and maybe let them know that. But just give people space and don't take everything so personally. And learn that that's how people are. We're all very fragile. We're all learning. We're all growing. And once you can start to really realize that, nothing matters as much. Like, things matter. Obviously, you have your dreams, you have your family, your friends, and you want to help people, and your purpose and your goals in life. But at the end of the day, we're all just on this earth for a short amount of time. You want to do the best you can do, help as many people as you can along the way, and not stress so much about all these little things, about what you look like, about, I'm not saying give up, but, you know, don't do what you can. You know, if you're out of shape, get in shape. Start eating better. If you don't like your hair, go to a hairdresser. You know, but don't like be so upset that you're staring in the mirror, God, I hate my legs, or, you know, whatever it is. Don't let that just play on your self-esteem so much that you can't even enjoy the actual essence of life, that you can't actually help people grow, that you can't grow yourself, that you can't excel and help other people excel because you're so caught up in your head and the fear of what other people are thinking. So I think once you really start to delve deeper into this sort of spiritual work and self-development, personal growth, and really helping other people grow, then you can really relax, and there's a sense of freedom that you'll carry, and then you'll accidentally, almost not by accident, but you'll find that the goals and the things that you actually really want will just come to you because you're not so caught up in everything that you're missing everything along the way, or that you're blocking things flowing to you. You're blocking your natural creative intuition because you're so stressed. Once you can let it all go, you can actually get whatever it is you want, whether that's to perform in a big show, to perform professionally, to perform full time, or win a race if you're specific type of athlete, whatever it is, win a competition. Maybe it's get a promotion, maybe it's start your own company. It doesn't matter what it is, but once you can really accept this freedom that comes along with allowing yourself to fail, allowing yourself to grow, and allowing yourself to making mistakes, and not worrying so much about the process and just doing the best you can along the way, then everything will come to you. Then you will achieve and get anything you want, whether that's financial freedom or creative freedom. It could be both. It could be anything, whether you want to help people, whatever it is. You can't get there if you're too stuck in your head, if you're too worried about what everyone's thinking, worried about, caught up thinking about a guy. Oh my God, I was so nervous on the date. I just said, I don't even know what I said. He must think I'm such an idiot. Who cares? So then you date somebody else that thinks that's endearing, or, whatever it might be. Or, oh my God, I just said this in front of my boss because he makes me so nervous. And I know everyone can relate to that because certain people will make you nervous. But at the end of the day, they're probably just as insecure as you, and they've just got a different way of either channeling that or hiding their insecurity. So just accept it. Accept what you can do, what you will do in the future, and just allow yourself to grow, allow yourself to make mistakes along the way. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't care too much about these little things. Let it go. Go, oh my God, that was embarrassing. And just laugh. Let it go. Okay, oh well, next. Once you can really adopt this attitude, your whole life will dramatically change. And you really will see a massive difference. So I hope that helped. Have an amazing day. Peace. See you guys.